What's up, guys? We're coming to you from Lake Mead, Nevada. Before this, we were in Bullhead City, Arizona. And why did we go to Bullhead City?
We went to Bullhead City because we were looking for the first place that had open reservations that was near water after Joshua Tree. We knew the route that we were going to be going through some hot weather, and we made it a priority to make sure we were camping near water. So it made sense for us to stay along the Colorado River.
So we pulled into town and we immediately cracked up because the sign coming into Bullhead City, some kids or adults had crossed the L's in Bullhead City. So it said Butthead City, Arizona. So I knew we were going to be in a good place.
So I was really lucky to find these campsites at Davis Park, which had campsites that had full hookups right along the Colorado River. We could actually park our trailer with hookups and walk right down to our own little private beach just 2 minutes away from our trailer every day. And that was such a treat, especially since it was like 100 degrees every day.
So we got the trailer hooked up, got situated, and turned the AC on because it was in the 90s. Mm-hmm. And we noticed that it was just blowing hot air. Our AC was dead. So we called an RV guy, and he couldn't come out until Wednesday. So we were stuck without AC for multiple days. So I would check the thermostat periodically, and I noticed that it was at 99 degrees every day. I'm like, wow, this Arizona weather is pretty consistent, 99 degrees. Come to find out, our thermostat only has 2 digits. So it was probably well north of 100 degrees every day in here. So it was another hot week working in the trailer. But eventually, RV guy came out, and it was surprisingly easy for him to swap out the ACs. We had a newer unit with higher BTUs, so we were set.
So actually, where we stayed in Bullhead City was right on the line of Arizona and Nevada. So the river is actually the border for these two states. So when we were sitting on one side of the river, we could see across to Nevada, and there were the casinos, right? And they were encouraging you to like come across and gamble and like no taxes. We didn't do that though, did we?
No, we didn't indulge.
We're not gamblers.
We spent the money on our AC unit. I don't think we wanted to gamble away anything. We took a hard hit from that.
The river was basically a place where it seemed like everybody came from the town surrounding to play. It was like
a playground.
It was like an adult playground. They were just constantly jet skis going
boats going by,
up and down.
Jet boats.
I mean, people were there to have a good time. There wasn't like one quiet day on that river.
Yeah.
So
like
and
9 a.m. people are ripping on the
water. We were there for the same refuge, like getting out of the heat, the water. It really is like the Colorado River provides this like slice of paradise in the middle of this otherwise like really harsh desert in that area.
So we were ready to continue the Colorado River tour onto Lake Mead.
We decided to check out Boulder Beach Campground first before we went and explored the boondocking sites because we heard great things about it. And it was actually the very first come, first serve campground that we tried out. So we weren't really sure what to expect. We were arriving at like noontime on a Saturday, and we were fully expecting it to be full. But it just so happened that we pulled in, and I think it was like the second or third spot we saw in the park, and it was open.
We snagged it.
So we snagged it. And it was a great deal because you can camp there for relatively cheap. There aren't any hookups, but like you're right by the water. You can literally walk right down to Lake Mead. You're super close to the Hoover Dam. There's bike paths. So by Monday, a lot of people had boogied from the campground. So we were actually able to snag an even better campsite on Monday for the rest of the week. We had awesome shade there, and we had a view of the lake. I think it was one of our best campsites yet.
It was a great site. I was able to set up our little solar field with the panels.
We also had really awesome neighbors at this campsite. We met this couple named Mike and Caitlin who are around our age and also full-time RVers. And we ended up being able to enjoy quite a few fires at night with them and really get to like talk life on the road. And that was just a really welcome change of pace to feel like we had friends for a week.
The community aspect of it was on full display. So one of the cool things about our Lake Mead campsite was that we could bike to the Hoover Dam from there. So they basically tore up the train tracks that had led to the Hoover Dam from Boulder City, and now it's a bike path. So you would bike through the old tunnels that the train went through and is bringing supplies to the dam.
Yeah, it was really awesome biking through the tunnels on the way to the Hoover Dam, because not only were the tunnels really unique, but you had this amazing view of Lake Mead down below. So one thing that was cool about Lake Mead is that there's actually a section of the beach where you can drive your car up onto it. So one afternoon I took the truck and I drove right up onto the beach. And I think it was actually there that I did my shop restock for my candle line. It was like I had the tailgate down in the truck, I had the laptop up, I had service somehow, and I was like uploading stuff to the shop and like opening it up for, sale. And that was just a really cool moment in our RV life, I feel like. Just being able to drive up right next to a lake and be out there in my bathing suit working. And that was really cool.
No, it's not working. You're working.
I was working, yeah.
So, of course, we had to go out on a date night, one night a week. It's our rule. We try to find a restaurant in town.
Trying to keep the romance alive.
So we found this restaurant that was right on the dock in the marina.
It's a floating restaurant.
It's a floating restaurant.
That's what it's called. So since we were on Lake Mead, Jesse's a water guy. I was just trying to find any way to get him on the lake that I could. Mastercrafts were a little too rich for our blood, and we couldn't rent jet skis. So instead, I found that they actually did steamboat tours of Lake Mead and sightseeing tours to the Hoover Dam. So that's what we did. We got tickets and we jumped on the steamboat, and they paddle you out through Lake Mead, and they give you kind of like a history of how Lake Mead came to be, how the dam was built, and then they take you all the way up to the dam. About as close as you can go actually on water.
The tour was super informative. It was awesome to hear like how Lake Mead came to be and how they sort of harnessed the power of the Colorado River to grow cities like Las Vegas and Los Angeles. So there are two things we had to do while we were at the Hoover Dam. We had to walk over the dam itself, and we had to go over the Memorial Bridge above. The bridge was built in 2009, so it was relatively new, and man, it was freaky. I couldn't make it over there. I lost my so I was like, Christina, take the camera and go get footage.
Yeah.
And I clung to the guardrail.
I think this is like the first time I actually really saw your fear of heights in action. Jesse's usually stronger than me at like literally everything. So the fact that I could walk out onto this bridge, and I'm afraid of heights.
You're not afraid of heights.
I am afraid of heights.
No, you're not. I'll show you afraid of heights.
Okay, well, we'll have to see about that in future updates.
Anywho,
I consider myself to be somebody who's afraid of heights, and the fact that I could walk out on that bridge was, I remember saying like it was a milestone for me, because I don't know if anyone remembers, to my family, Ogunquit, what is that place? Perkins Cove, that little tiny drawbridge that goes out, it's like maybe like 20 feet high. I couldn't walk on that at all when I was a child, and the fact that I could like walk out onto this bridge that was like
hundreds of feet.
Thousands, millions of feet up
millions of feet
in the air, and I was fine. It was pretty
She did a great job.
Anyways, I got the shot.
So then we went down to the dam itself. It wasn't just this sort of industrialized project. There were these artistic details that were brought in. There was an area on the dam where they like inlaid this like a star map or a like a constellation map in the ground. There was this Art Deco style that was kind of unexpected that I thought really provided some character to the dam itself. So there's this group of artists that call themselves Meow Wolf, and they have an installation in Santa Fe, but we weren't able to make it. So I was kind of bummed out. Come to find out, they have a new permanent installation in Las Vegas. So we had to go. Las Vegas is like, 45 minutes from Lake Mead?
Not far.
So we were like, we're doing this. So we ended up going to this place called Area 15 that housed this Meow Wolf installation. It was called Omega Mart, and it was this bizarro grocery store. So describing this thing will be a disaster. You can only experience it for yourself. But it was this really cool, like, artist take on a grocery store and sort of some behind the scenes stuff. Mm-hmm. But while we were there, we did that installation, and then they had a few others. There was one that was a VR experience that simulated flying. So you laid down and put your arms out, and you put the VR goggles on, and they put you in the simulation where you're flying through a prehistoric dinosaur world. So if you turn like this, you'd go down to the left. If you turn like this, you go down to the right. So you could control this whole thing, and they had a fan blowing on you. So the sensation of flying was legit.
I was really good at flying.
She was pretty good.
I was really good. I was like bomb diving, everything. So real talk, Jesse and I wanted to get vaccinated ASAP while we were on the road. So I had been searching for a couple weeks at this point because the Arizona and Utah and Nevada states were allowing anyone over 16 to get vaccinated, even if you were out of state. So I was looking day and night. And it just so happened that as soon as we got to Lake Mead, the local grocery store had Johnson & Johnson vaccines available, and they had appointments.
Albertsons.
So we could go. So we went on Monday morning, and we both got our vaccines. It was easy peasy, even though I am totally not a needle person.
And you got a 10% off coupon on your groceries that day, which I thought was pretty sweet. Nice perk. So next we are headed to the Grand Canyon, which we're very excited for because we booked a helicopter tour, which will be awesome. It was sort of like a late birthday present. So we're very excited for that. I'm going to fire up the GoPro and we'll get some awesome footage. So we'll see you guys there.